What is up, nerds? Your boy is back and ready to give you a brand new guide. Today we are going to be going over how to solo the new bosses, the Royal Titans. These new bosses are aimed more at mid-level players and are meant to be slain with a friend, but it is possible to solo them, and I will show you how in this guide. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to get all my future videos and guides. I've been away from the video scene for a little while because I have had a ton of stuff going on, including my wife being pregnant, but I am going to try and make videos every week in the near future. But with that being said, let's get into the video. The Royal Titans drop some pretty awesome items. They drop the 2 crown pieces to make the Twin Flame Staff, which essentially will autocast whatever magical spell weakness an enemy has, as long as you have the runes to cast said spell. It also has a boost for accuracy and damage for spells on the standard spellbook, and in the end it's about a 28% damage bonus to standard spells when using the staff, so it could potentially have some good uses down the line. They also dropped the Deadeye Prayer Scroll and the Mystic Vigor Prayer Scroll. These scrolls, when read, give you upgrades to Eagle Eye and Mystic Might. Mystic Vigor gives you 18% boost in magic attack and defense, 3% magic damage bonus, and boosts non-magic defense by 5%. Deadeye gives you 18% range attack, 18% range strength, and 5% defense. Overall, these 2 prayers are pretty nice upgrades, especially for irons who can't run chambers yet and get vigor or augury. Lastly, they dropped the Giant Soul Amulet, which is charged with Law Runes and Big Bones. It will teleport you right to the lair. It cannot be uncharged, so just be aware of that. Also, one thing before we get into the kill example, they do plan on having you be able to trade in extra amulets to the Wise Old Man in exchange for Big Bones, so I would hold on to them for a while and not just high elk them or drop them or whatever. Unless if you're 99 prayer, of course, and well, nerd. As far as gear goes, you want to make sure you can have a magic attack of at least plus 70 in your setup. This ensures you're guaranteed to one-hit the minions at the Titan spawn. I use a Neotnot's Face Guard, a Rada's Blessing, Amulet of Fury, Aram's Robe Top and Bottom, a Berserker Ring, an Eternal Boots, Barrow's Gloves, and I use the Noxious Halberd. Now you can use a host of different weapons like a Fang, even like a Whip. They don't really have great defense, so damage shouldn't be too bad. And then of course a Fire Cape. I got Burning Claws for a spec weapon. Again, you can really use anything. You don't even really need a spec weapon. I have a range switch, which is my Bofa with Crystal. You can use God Dehide and a crossbow or blowpipe. Blowpipe is great for his spec. Then I just have anglers and a couple combo eats with Cromboans. I got 6 prayer potions, a super combat, and a range potion. And of course a Telia, my construction cape. And in my divine rune pouch we have water runes, fire runes, air runes, and blood runes to cast wave spells for water and fire respectively. This is used to kill the minions that the Titans spawn. There's a ton of different variations you could use for your inventory and setup, but just make sure you have the plus 70 attack for magic and you should be good to go. They don't have great defense, so damage shouldn't be an issue for anybody. So before we go there, we're going to have a quick prayer set to protect from melee and piety. And the way I'm going to go is through a fairy ring. So if you haven't done the Elite Lumbridge Diaries, then you're going to need a Drummond Staff. And we're going to use fairy ring code AIQ to Mud Skipper Point. And this is going to bring us really close to the lair. We're going to run over here and climb down the trapdoor. You could also use the amulet if you have that, but I prefer to just do it this way. It's just as fast, and I don't want to have to go get big bones and stuff, to be honest. So we're going to run and use this shortcut over here. I believe it's level 82 agility. I will double check that and fix that on screen if it is not. but we're going to run over here and we're going to put on our range gear because we're going to range first at the very beginning of the fight. And as you can see, you can either start your own fight, join a fight, or do nothing. We're obviously going to start our own fight because we're going to solo this, but if we wanted someone to join, we would start our own fight and they would type our name in and they would be able to join. Alright, so before we go in, we're going to eat an angler and we're going to pod up here and have our range equipment on, and we're going to start our own fight and throw on our range boosting prayer, whatever you got, and start using range. Now they're going to summon these walls here. You just have to not be standing on the squares to not get hit by them, and all they do is just prevent you from running. And then they're going to spawn some minions. If there's any minions going to attack you, throw on protect from melee and kill them with the opposite of whatever element they are. So that was a water. I used fire to kill it. And now when they come closer, they're going to do these pound attacks on the floor. As long as you're praying melee, which you're going to be praying most of the fight, you're going to nullify pretty much all damage other than when the minions explode, like that water one just did. They can hit you for, I think, 5 to 10 damage each, so that's the reason why you want to bring runes to kill them. This will pretty much nullify all damage. Like I said, protect from melee nullifies everything else. And they just go back and forth from standing at the edge where you use melee and walking away where you use range. Now this is the final phase where they come in the middle. This will happen once you get one of them under 35% health or so. And they'll spawn this little orb and they do a same rotation every time. So they spawn that orb, you stand in the orb and dodge that AoE attack. And then they're going to spawn some minions, you kill minions. Go to attack, run to the orb. That's when you switch to range, and you can kind of range these guys as they're doing this for a little extra DPS. You don't need to do that, and then if you're new to this, I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would just run to the orb and wait. This is as it gets a little more advanced. But yeah, just make sure you got your mage stuff out so you can one hit these minions, and you'll notice as when you hit them your attack speed actually goes up a tick or two, so you're able to kill them a lot faster. That's a good thing they added that, because it would have made this fight a lot harder if that didn't happen, especially solo. But as you can see here, we just keep knocking them down, and the reason why we didn't kill the other one right away, you notice I left it with barely any health, is because once you kill one, their stomp attacks don't get nullified with protect from melee anymore. So you want to have them both alive and try to kill them around the same time, so you don't take damage from their stomp attacks anymore. So there's also another strategy where you can kind of kill both of them down to like 40% health before this final phase, and have it that way so this final phase kind of goes a little quicker. I prefer to just take one down as quickly as possible in the first phase and get to this phase. I think this phase is a little faster in my opinion after doing this about 150 KC solo or so. But you see here, we kill them at the same time. Barely took any damage. The damage we really took was a couple misclicks here and there. But again, pretty easy. It's not super hard. It's just getting used to the kills. I'd say it took me about 15 KC or so to really get used to all the mechanics and the back and forth of it. But we'll go over another kill or two just to show you guys what these guys are all about. So again, we're going to start a range and watch out for any of these walls here. If you do need to knock down a wall, you just use the opposite elemental spell. So if it was an ice one, you use fire. Fire one, you use water. And they're coming into melee distance. Throw on our melee gear, spec them out. If you have a spec weapon. I for some reason thought they were going to be walking away here. But, yep. Wait for them to walk away, and now we switch to range gear again. Kill the minions. And he should be coming into melee distance here. There we go. Switch to our melee stuff. And we just attack until we can get him down under 35% or so, and then we should get to the final phase. I do really enjoy these bosses. I'm not gonna lie, I really like doing them. I've done them all solo. I'm up to, I believe, like 180 KC now. I've gotten everything but the pet and one of the crown for the twin flame thing, of course, but I did get the prayers, so I can't complain. But I have been happy with these bosses. So now they're back into melee distance, and see, I'm trying to attack here with the fire spell, but I don't have my magic attack high enough, so I was just splashing. That's gonna happen sometimes too, and sometimes you gotta just kind of tank some hits, like that one. We're gonna run to the orb, switch to our range, attack a couple times, switch back to our melee gear. Like I said, their defense is really low, so if you forget to switch to your prayer or something, like, it doesn't really affect it too much. Obviously, it helps to have Piety or Eagle Eye or Deadeye or Rigor on, Mystic Mike, whatever it may be. But the main thing is just doing DPS. That's the most important thing. And this is really the only attack that can really hurt you. As long as you get to these orbs in time, that's all that matters. Also, during these phases, you can see we have the fire elementals over here. If we left them alive, when this water one, see the water crystals coming up, if the fire guys were in those, they would be able to be killed that way as well. I just prefer to kill them off myself, just because sometimes you might be in a square that actually ends up being a fire crystal square where fire crystals come up, or vice versa for the ice one, and that could mess you up and hurt you if you're lower in health or something for whatever reason. So I always just try to kill them. They go super fast with the tick speed up for killing them, so it's worth it in my opinion. But again, pretty simple here. Nothing out of the ordinary. And this is a really good boss for people who haven't raided or gotten into higher level bossing to kind of learn how to, juggle between switching prayers, switching gear, eating, prayer, all that kind of stuff, paying attention to different ads and stuff attacking you. This prepares you very well for all that later content, kind of like Scurious did with the prayer switching and stuff, but this is a little more of an upgraded version of Scurious in my opinion. A little harder, a little more complicated, but definitely more rewarding at the same time. Alright nerds, that's everything you need to know about the new Royal Titans boss. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel where, again, I will be uploading a lot more videos and content coming up, and can't wait to show you all more cool stuff in the future. Until next time nerds, peace.